It's great having you. I think we jump right in here, and I'm going to start with a quote that you have said that maybe ruffled a lot of feathers in a lot of places. And you have said that, quote, type 2 diabetes is optional and in most cases reversible. This means that if you don't have to get it, no matter which relatives of yours might have had it, and it means that if you do have it, you don't have to, end quote. As we hear that, the shockwaves go over big pharma, big food, big media, big government. Why is that such a dangerous thing to say in this day and age?
Managing diabetes is incredibly profitable. Managing it works really well. In fact, as an example, I don't know if you had the experience yet. I'm sure that as you cross through the 40s and suddenly menus look a little harder to read, and you need those glasses, right? And well, the FDA approved recently an eye drop, apparently, that you can drop in your eye, and for about 8 hours, you don't need your reading glasses. It softens the lens and so on. But you have to take it daily. And I can't help but wonder how much of the developmental budget for that eye drop was designed to make it daily rather than, say, monthly or permanent. Now, I know it's a little bit jaded, but the truth of the matter is that the guy who discovered the principle of exogenous insulin and then how to synthesize insulin, Banting, he sold the patent for that to the University of Toronto for $1 because he believed that insulin was a right. He believed that people who needed it had the right to it and it shouldn't become a big profit center. And somewhere between that transaction and today, it got lost in translation.
Wow. And so diabetes is probably one of the biggest ailments that requires that regular medication, which is what makes a lot of money for a lot of people. It's probably that and blood thinners and statins that is what profits this massive industry. And like you said, that regular use of that is something that we should always be suspicious of, maybe for health reasons, but also for this profit reason.
Yeah, I think that the profit reason is a big part of it. And then I think there's also a human problem, and that is that humans very often want they often want the easy path or the shortcut. And so, if you can imagine, if I'm your GP and I sit down with you and I look, Brian, you're pre-diabetic now, and what you're going to need to do is give up some of your favorite foods. You're going to have to start doing some exercise you don't really want to have to do, or I can just give you these pills. So people also have to take a little bit of personal responsibility about, opting for shortcuts, because shortcuts come with costs. So on the one side, you've got this obviously, capitalistic drive toward profitability from pharma, which is that, chronic diseases are profitable. And on the other side, you have consumers that want shortcuts.
Right. And the stats are pretty shocking. I mean, you said that over 100,000 Americans die each year from diabetes complications. 7 out of 10 people in America are on the diabetic spectrum, and a lot of them don't even know that.
Yeah.
And that's growing.
Yeah. It's growing rapidly. I mean, in the 1970s, which you and I remember, you needed to be over 40 years old to get type 2 diabetes, basically. I mean, it was even at that point called adult onset diabetes because with the state of the food industry and life in general at that time, it took 30 or 40 years to manifest the condition. Now, I mean, the way the food industry is today and the way life is today, you have teenagers that are pre-diabetic. It's happening much more quickly, much more widespread. And that's devastating for a number of reasons. One of them is that diabetes is a damaging disease. In other words, the condition itself isn't really the problem. It's what the condition does to you over time. It causes circulatory problems and other things. So, you're eventually going to lose your eyesight, for example. Well, if you get it in your 40s, it might take another 20 years to damage your eyes sufficiently to lose your eyesight. But if you get it when you're 15, all that damage is going to be happening much more quickly. And I remember reading this thing recently about that we're now birthing a generation of children that will have life expectancies not simply shorter than their parents, but literally shorter than their parents. That there are children on the whole now that won't outlive their parents because of the way things are today with the explosion of diabetes and obesity.
That's crazy because I'll have people in here like Peter Diamandis and David Sinclair, who are longevity experts, who are now telling me that kids born today are going to live to 120 and 140, except for the fact of what we're feeding them.
Yep.
And that could be actually taking it back down towards zero.
That's right. The potential is for that incredible longevity. There's no question about that. The reality is that with the food industry being the way it is today and with education and food regulation being the way it is today, we're seeing a drop. In fact, life expectancy, I think in the US has now just downticked 2 years in a row or something like that. Like it shouldn't be doing that. There's no reason for it to be doing that, but it is happening.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast It's going to be bloody. It's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
This course has been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.